If you learn how to communicate competently when you're young, it'll help you out a lot in the future because that's what businesses and people are looking for. They're looking for competent communicators. Because if you have two people that have gone to the same school, had the same education and same credentials, they both go in for an interview, one person is jittery, stuttering, and doesn't know how to get their words across, and then the other person is competent, their words flow out of their mouths, and they're understandable, the one who has better communication skills is going to get the job. And it's proven from studies that people with better communication skills get higher paying jobs, get better promotions, and attract better looking people from the opposite sex because they know how to communicate competently. Now, not everybody has to be the best at communicating, but you have to be competent, which means you just have to be not great, but just good. When you're young, obviously it doesn't matter that much, but as you get older and you know how to express your words better, it becomes a lot easier. Now, I don't consider myself a very competent communicator, and it's something that I'm trying to learn. And I'm doing a few things to help myself learn how to communicate better with people and more fluently. Now, unfortunately, the way that I talk usually is I talk very fast paced and it's very hard for people to understand me. So I have to consciously slow my words down so it's easier for people to understand me. I'm trying to mitigate that, to which when I do talk, I am trying to talk at a much more understandable pace so that people can, again, understand me. Now, I'm not somebody that does a lot of scripted stuff. If you go back and look at some of my previous videos, which I have had scripted, I sound like a robot. I don't talk very fluently, and it's my brain trying to remember the words I have to speak instead of just speaking them out of my mouth. And this is the same with this video. I don't have a script, I'm just talking from my own personal experiences and just whatever comes to my mind, which makes it easier because the way that I think about it is it's kind of like a relay between the thoughts that you're thinking and the words that you want to come out of your mouth, and then the delay between when you think them and when they do come out of your mouth. So again, it's like a relay where it's the words that you're thinking coming and then just before they hand off to the words and then they come out of your mouth. If those are out of sync, then you're going to misinterpret words, you're going to stutter, and people aren't going to be able to properly understand you. Now, there are a few things that you can do to increase your communication skills and just be competent in communicating. And these are some things that I myself are trying to do, which hopefully will help you out. And over time, hopefully they'll help me out over time become better at communicating with people. Now, the main thing is it's very good to have communication and talk with people that you wouldn't normally do. Yes, obviously you can talk to friends and family, but talking to strangers is a lot easier because you don't know what their responses are going to be. Now, talking to people for the sake of like an intention is not very good. I've seen my friends who go up to women and try to talk to them with a specific reason in mind, either to get their phone number or try and get a date out of them. And in doing so, they have stuttered over their words and made a fool out of themselves because they've gone in there with the intention of saying words that they've already kind of rehearsed in their head, instead of just going up to somebody with just the intention of just talking to them and getting to know them. I've done this before when I went to the gym and I walked up to these two ladies who were doing a exercise, Romanian deadlift. And I didn't know if the way that I was doing it was the proper form of doing it because I felt it a little bit off. So I just calmly walked up to them, not with the intention of getting their number or checking them out, but just to ask them a question. So I went up there and, surprising myself, I talked very fluently to them and I didn't stutter or anything like that. And I just simply asked them what is the proper way of doing it and if they can tweak my form to make it easier for myself. And so they did. I had a very lovely conversation with them afterwards. Again, with no intention of doing anything apart from just talking to them. So a good way to do it is to just go up to people for the intention of just talking to them. Like with no alternative like motives or anything like that, just go up to them for the sake of getting to know them or just talking to them. And then over time, it'll make it a lot easier for yourself where you can just go up there. And then the time that you actually do go up to somebody with the intention to talk to them for a reason, it'll be a lot easier. Another one is something that I've started doing this year more often is just reading books, because books have a very vast vocabulary and words that you might not speak in your day-to-day like conversations. So if you read a book, then the words that you read will be in the back of your mind, kind of like a catalog. So when you're having conversations with people, it'll kind of be in your head, and then those words will possibly relate to the conversation that you're having with somebody, and then you'll think of it, and then it'll just come out. And then having these long, complicated words that you say, people might seem surprised that you either know those words or you're speaking them in a conversation that's relevant, and the word that you brought up is relevant to the conversation that you talked. And some people in the past, for myself, have asked me how I know those words, and I just say either I've read them or I've heard them through a video. And whether it be like visual through a book or auditory through a video, expanding your vocabulary will make it far easier for yourself to talk to people, because the bigger your vocabulary is, the easier it is. The smaller your vocabulary, you're going to have very quick and simple conversations, which isn't entirely a bad thing. But if you're trying to get to know somebody and your conversation ends within 2 minutes, only having spoken 12 words, then that's not going to be very good. The longer you can have a conversation, the better. And the more words you can speak in that conversation and have a broader vocabulary, will be a lot easier for you to have long conversations and actually get to know somebody, rather than having a very short conversation with very few words. The other one is looks. Now, I'm not going to tell you to do all these things for looks maxing, that kind of stuff, but the better you look, or the better you feel, you'll express that confidence. So if you look at yourself in the mirror and have, like, I don't know, nice haircut, good skin, have a nice fresh set of clothes on, and you look at yourself and nod and say, yeah, I look really good, this is nice. And then you go out there, you will express that confidence that you feel in yourself for looking good. Now, these are very simple things that you can do, but the outcome will be fantastic, because the more confident you feel, the more confident you will be outwardly. So take some time to get a nice haircut, clean up your skin, have a good diet, good exercise, and then go out there. Because again, the more confident you feel in yourself, then the more confidence you will express. And then that is something that is very attractive to that of both genders. Very confident men and confident women for the corresponding gender, which is very good. And then the last one, not everybody has to do this, but it is good, where just what I'm doing now, just videoing yourself. Because I can look back at the first video I ever made on this channel, and I can think of the words that I spoke and just the amount of unfluidity that I spoke with. It was, looking back now, it's embarrassing and cringy, but that's also a good thing, because I'm looking back and seeing the progress that I've made over my time in making videos on this channel, and how I've at least become more confident with talking and being able to talk to a camera with a lot more ease and comfortability than I did when I first made my first video on this channel. So yeah, those three things, not necessarily fourth if you don't feel like it, but yes, doing those three things, and they will hopefully help you out in being able to be more comfortable and confident and be able to communicate better. Because at the end of the day, the better communication you have, probably the better off you'll be. So yeah, that's about it for today. So I'll see you in the next one.